Hey there, Smite fans, and welcome back to this week's only prediction video really coming out, and it's going to be for the OPL. The last thing going on this week, SPL closed down, SCL closed down, and we have 4 more games to be looking at right here, and they're going to be some doozies. I expect to see some interesting matches come up, especially now, I mean, just looking at Kanga, who seems to be doing a lot stronger, and the same thing goes for Darksided, who looks to be doing a lot stronger this time around, so looking forward into it. It's going to be some interesting matches, but the first one on the docket is Darksided versus Avantgarde, and normally I probably would have called this one as a split. Avantgarde, though, has not really been playing up to par. It's been really hard to place them because some weeks they look like they're going to come out and be this team that they're supposed to be, and then other weeks they come down and they just get kind of trashed on, and it's just really confusing as to where it comes. When we look at last week, they lost all 4 of the games that they had. When it comes into this week, I don't think we're going to be seeing them pick up a win. I think Darksided should ultimately be able to come out on top. I think they're close. I think they're going to be some good games, but I think ultimately Darksided is going to be able to be the ones who close that one out and find themselves with a 2-0. Now the next one is going to be Kanga versus Legacy, and this one's going to be very interesting because, again, Kanga is rising. Like, out of nowhere, they have been able to kind of skyrocket forward, and I'm honestly really excited to see how they can handle Legacy here. And while I think that they're going to be able to put up a good fight, they might, honestly, if they come out with a surprise, I wouldn't be too shocked from it, but still, if they can come out with a win here, that is going to be having me jump out of my seat with how, I mean, honestly, how flabbergasted I would be. But as it stands going forward, of course, as you can tell from what I just said, I expect Legacy Esports to be able to kind of take this one as a 2-0. They're just a stronger team. Kanga, they're doing really well. I'm actually really happy with how this team has kind of flourished. But when it comes down to it, they're still not at the top quite yet. They still have some work cut out for them. And Legacy going to be able to give them some good practice for that. And speaking of Legacy, they're going to be coming back at it again, this time against Darksided, which is another team that, honestly, I'm impressed with. They've been kind of able to click here in these last couple weeks, find where they're going, but again, much like Kanga, they are not the top yet. They still do have some work to go through. They still have to cut through, and again, while it's not completely out of the option for them to find a win here, I think it's not very likely at all. I think it's one of those things that if you were really going to put your money on a split, it would still be kind of way too risky to be comfortable with. I personally, again, am leaning towards Legacy finding the 2-0 here, but I think Darksided, much like Kanga, will be able to put up a relatively good fight this time around. I think that this time it's going to be a little bit closer overall, but ultimately Legacy should come out with that 2-0. And then the last one, I guess we can just kind of pull out the old mantra, never vote against Direwolves. Darksided, they're a good team, they're a strong team, 8-8. But when it comes down to it, everyone pales in comparison. LG Direwolves over here, 18-0. Looking to close this one out with a perfect split. And honestly, Darksided, like, at this point, people are looking to you. You have to be the team to make this so they have a 1 at the end of that. Everyone wants you to make this 19-1, except for, of course, Direwolves fans who wants to see this come out, close out with that perfect split. As it stands, I personally see this being their perfect split. They should be able to take this one as a 2-0 because, again, they're just on a completely different level. And that's going to be it for this week. 4 games down. Oh, like I said, SPL, OPL, and SCL. After this week, we'll be gone for a little bit. Of course, we'll be seeing some lands. I think DreamHack Masters is going to be over the summer, and I do believe Direwolves has qualified in for that one as well, so I think it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes going forward. Right now, though, just a quick recap for this set of games. It's going to be Darksided taking a 2-0 over Avantgarde. Just hasn't quite been the same team that they were in the last split. And, of course, they aren't the exact same team that they were in the last split. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how they do handle this going forward. Legacy going to be able to take the 2-0 over Kanga as well as over Darksided. Both of those, I think it's just that Kanga and Darksided, while they've improved a lot, Legacy is just sitting up there as that solid number 2 spot, and I just don't think that Kanga and Darksided have what it takes to take a game, but I do think they are going to be a lot closer than the last time we saw them go up against each other in week 3, I think was one of those, as well as another one. I'm not going to look it up right now. And then the last one is going to be Direwolves versus Darksided. When it comes down to it, Direwolves. That's all I really need to say about that one, and as it stands going forward, thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you to the next time that one of these predictions comes up, and I will talk to you guys in the next prediction video.